Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Nick, or Refwo, back with another video yet again today. And guys, today what I want to talk about is how to overcome your addictions. And guys, I feel like I'm qualified to make this video because I've went through some of the worst addictions. I've been addicted to things I can't even see on camera because I got family watching this stuff, but it's crazy. Guys, if you guys are anything like me, you have an addictive personality. And what you guys have to understand is that this is truly a blessing and a curse. This could truly be your superpower or your kryptonite. And it's all about how you control this addiction. Think of it as you're the driver in the car and you're steering the wheel towards what addiction you want to be addicted to. And the truth is, we're all addicted to something. It's just the extent of how addicted we are to that substance, to that thing, whatever it is. Guys, if you have an addictive personality, more than likely, you're probably watching this video. You guys have to understand that you're genuinely special. And I'm not even just saying that to gas your head up. No, you guys have to understand that anything you choose to do, you will be the best at because you're addicted to it. You're obsessed. And that's the trait of a successful person. That is truly the trait of a 1%er. But like on the other hand, you guys have to understand it's all about what you're addicted to. And so I'm going to jump into the video. I can make an hour-long video talking about addictions because, you know, that's what everybody's struggle is. You have to break through the self-sabotage. You have to break through the vices, the addictions, to start understanding and start taking control over your life, your reality, what you want your future to look like. It all starts with overcoming yourself first. Guys, growing up, I was very curious. I've always seen, like, for example, I've always seen the contrast between people. I've seen somebody drink alcohol and it's good for them. He feels amped up. He wants to socialize. He becomes happy, more abundant. And then I've seen somebody drink alcohol and it feels like they're torturing themselves. They're suffering. They're destroying their family. They're destroying their relationships, but they just can't stop. And I always question myself, why does this happen? Why does this substance have two different effects on two different people? What is it that causes this? And it's all about mindset and how you view that addiction. And now, why I even said that is, guys, you guys have to understand that addiction doesn't have to be a bad thing unless you make it a bad thing. I always say that inner voice, that inner consciousness, that intuition, that is God trying to communicate with you. So if you do anything that makes you feel guilt, shame, anxiety, worry after, guys, you guys have to understand that is God telling you that this addiction, this thing that you're doing steady, is not good for you. You know inside of you what you have to stop doing. If you're watching this video, you probably know the first thing that came in your mind, that's the thing you have to stop doing. Then why can't you do it? You're really gonna let that little vape have control over your life. You're really gonna let those video games have control over your life. You're really gonna let the weed, the drugs, the alcohol, the porn, you're gonna let all this stuff really have control over your life. And now let me actually jump into it. I know you guys didn't come here to get scolded. I'm just saying, guys, I know what it's like. I know when you hear the same thing over and over again, I get what it's like. I know there's a more depth to the situation and it's not as easy. I get it. Trust me. I get it. I understand. But how do I actually start overcoming these addictions? And these are things that have been helping me. So I'm going to share it and hopefully it helps you guys as well. So guys, basically where I started, I read multiple books. I really studied this stuff because I was really suffering. And before I jump in, suffering, if you're truly suffering right now, guys, you guys have to understand that God is so close to you. Guys, what you guys have to understand is that life works in balance. Guess what? If you're suffering right now, I promise you, if you could control this addiction, if you could just get on the right path, if you could just do the thing that God is calling you to do, I promise you, you're going to skyrocket. You're literally going to skyrocket to enlightenment. And I talked about past videos, the enlightenment chart searched up. I'm not going to talk more about it. But guys, what you guys have to understand is that the person you are right now, the addictions that you have right now, it's simply an identity. Your ego, your body, yourself likes to crave and create an identity for you. And I made past videos about this, but guys, every time you guys try to change, every time you guys try to change your identity, try to grow, it has to take discomfort. It takes discomfort and pain to grow. And understand that when you go through that pain, that's when those voices inside of you, that addiction, that demon, it's gonna yell at you so much louder because it doesn't want to die. And every time you have the strength to just say no to that addiction, that thing you steady go to, guess what? You're slowly killing off that identity. Now, this is where people go wrong. And this is what I did for the longest time, is I would have the strength to say no, but I wouldn't consume myself with something else. I would just leave dead time. And that dead time, that boredom, my mind would just ruminate on the addiction. And it just, no matter how much no's I said, eventually I would crack. And once I cracked it, once I did it once, whatever that thing is, I just went all out. You guys know how it goes. It gets very bad. So basically what I'm saying is when you say no next time to it, you guys instantly, every time you say no, take yourself and keep yourself occupied. Keep yourself busy. Like, for example, every time that I even feel the urge to do that type of addiction, I literally tell myself, okay, this voice is telling me what to do. I'm just going to go down and do 50 push-ups. If I do 50 push-ups, I promise you, try it for yourself. You're not going to want to do that addiction. Soon, once you start building the routine and once you start telling your own mind that, hey, you want to give me those voices, you're going to get 50 push-ups. Every time that those voices come to my head, I'm dropping down and I'm doing 50. And slowly that voice inside of me, that demon voice, became smaller and smaller because it knew that Nick had the discipline that every time that voice came in my head, I would drop down and do 50. And I really don't want to do 50 push-ups. So I'm going to say no to this addiction. And now guys, that's just an example from me. Take it and extrapolate it to your life. Every time you hear that voice calling you, maybe you want some alcohol. Maybe you want to smoke some weed. Find something productive that works for you, that favors your life, that works in your favor, that makes you a better person. You want to find something that makes you feel accomplished afterwards. Delayed gratification. That instant gratification, you do that addiction and then you feel shitty afterwards. Guess what? That shitty feeling is just going to ruminate. You're going to think about it all day. And it's going to ruin your day. It's going to ruin your week. And you're just going to keep on doing those addictions. So you want to do something that makes you feel accomplished. Of course, something that works in your favor, that betters your life. All right, guys, that was pretty basic. And now I'm going to actually talk about the mind and how to actually deal with it when that voice comes inside your head. Really, all it comes down to is awareness. If you become more aware, you have to understand that you're not your body. Like I said, you're not you. You're simply the awareness that's viewing everything, all the thoughts, all the surroundings, everything around us. You're simply the awareness observing everything that's going on. You're observing every thought. And you have to understand that every time a demon voice comes inside of you, every time that voice inside of you calls for those vices, calls for those addictions, you have to understand that it's simply an offer. You're not forced to do anything. That's simply an offer that you don't have to take. But I know, Nick, it sounds so good, like my body wants it. No, your body only is used to it. You're used to doing that. So when you stop doing that, guess what? Your body's going to crave it. For example, if I eat a meal 5 o'clock every day and I miss a meal the next day for 5 o'clock, all of a sudden I'm going to start feeling hungry. My stomach is going to start craving food because I'm used to that routine. I'm used to doing this. That leads me to my next point. Guys, for the longest time, I was running away from that voice. What I want you to do is be still for a moment. Sit down if you have to. Be still, close your eyes, and go within. What I want you to do is start observing those thoughts that are calling for the vices, the addictions. Don't run away from it. In a way, make friends with the devil. What I want you to do is really take it in and see and feel what it feels like to be consumed by this voice. See how it affects your body. And what I want you to do is have the awareness that this is only an offer. You don't have to take it. And then simply, when you become more aware, once you understanding that it's only an offer, and once you understand that every time I take this offer, it leads me to guilt, shame, and regret afterwards, understand that it's simply a trick from the devil. It's simply a trick from the old frequency because it doesn't want to die. And the next two things I want you to think about is while you're observing and while you're taking in the feelings of this voice inside of your head, remember how bad it made you feel. Remember how much you were suffering. Remember how much you pray to God to stop that addiction. And then on the other hand, what I want you to do is remember how good you feel every time you say no. You feel so accomplished. You feel like life is going your way. You feel like everything is on path. The simple, obvious answer is to say no to that addiction. It should be easy. I understand. It's not always that easy. And me even making this video, it's like I'm laughing because I know, like, it's common sense. You would think just say no, just control yourself. But I understand if you're addicted to something, addiction is crazy. Like I said, once you steer this addiction in the right path, I promise you, your life will change forever. That's why I made so much progress in the gym so fast, is because I became consumed by the gym. I turned all my bad video game addictions into the gym and I got big so fast. I learned everything there is to know about fitness. I learned about macros, calories. I learned everything. And even at home, I would just think about the next day workout. I became addicted to the right thing. And that leads me to my next point. Guys, start working out. Even if you don't want to get big, even if you don't care about how you look, guys, I promise you the mental clarity you get from working out, simply just taking that boredom, taking that dead time and converting it and using it for something productive that fuels your body. Exercise makes you healthier, makes you look better, makes you feel more confident. I promise you, the gym is the easiest thing you could use to consume and convert your addiction. And guys, my last point is I understand it's truly a battle. And don't get me wrong, like it might not work the first time, but understand, like it's always work in progress. You're a work in progress and you're gonna change. It's all about positive talk. Every time you say no to that addiction, tell yourself that you're that guy. You can do anything you set your mind to. You're the best in the world. Every time that you say no to that addiction, that vice, you're slowly killing off the old identity and you're creating a new identity. And before you know it, it does take a couple days, maybe even a couple months. I promise you, your whole identity would shift and you're not even gonna think about those addictions anymore. Those voices, I promise you, they go away after a while. And guys, my last point before I go, if you're going through addiction right now and you're suffering and you're feeling terrible and it makes you feel guilty, shame, regret all the time, you guys have to understand that at the bottom, and I hate to be corny, but there's only up. You have to understand that the universe loves balance. So if you're suffering right now, I could promise you that suffering is going to start making you question yourself so much. That's where you become closer to God. And once you understand God and how all this stuff works, once you're able to wield your addiction, you're going to slingshot all the way up. You're going to feel so good about yourself. Life is going to be so good for you. That's a promise, because the universe works in balance. If you're going through anything negative right now, understand that there's an upside. If you're going through an upside, understand that there's also a downside. So you always have to be prepared. It's simply awareness. The more awareness you have, the more you're prepared you're going to be for battle, if that makes sense. I'm sweating bullets. I have to go. I shouldn't have turned off this car. But guys, if you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Tell a grandma, to tell an auntie, to tell an uncle, to share the channel. It's been your boy, and I'll catch you guys next time. Love y'all. Bye.